The other monthly expenses section is lines 133 to 142, and this will be the last data entry part before running the reports. Column B is your resident expenses, and column C is your post-residency expenses. I will just highlight a few things, but the labels are pretty self-explanatory. 134, emergency fund. What this is this is separate from your retirement savings or any other, like savings for down payment on a car or something like that. This is for emergencies. For example, if if you were to get injured and needed to take 2 months off of work, you needed the emergency funds would come into play to pay for your regular expenses. So once you complete your budget and make some adjustments and so forth, and this is something you should do for the rest of your life, when you figure out what the minimum or the basic monthly expenses that you have, so if you have a car payment, if you got mortgage payment, child's tuition, daycare, obviously you need food, if you got medications that you're paying for on a monthly basis, you figure out how much that is, and then you want to save up a minimum of 3 months, and at least 6 months is a good goal, and then have that aside. So that way, if something happens, if you need a new furnace or refrigerator, something totally comes out out of the blue, you have this source of funding that's there, so that you don't have to cancel vacations, or you just don't have to put it on credit card that month and try and figure out eventually how to cover these expenses. Okay, so that's a good thing to start during residency. It's less likely that you shouldn't have any employment issues throughout residency, but once you get postgraduate, hospitals lay off employees too, so you could have a situation where you have a couple of weeks, months, perhaps, where you go without pay, and so that's where an emergency fund can be very beneficial. Other line here, 135 is gifts, memberships, and dining out. And once you start working and getting a regular paycheck, you want to make sure that you actually have enough allocated so that you can go out and enjoy whatever city you're going to be living in at that time. So you want to be realistic about how much you actually spend when you do go out for dinner or drinks, and then how often that you plan on doing that. The line 137, other loans, this is for like relocation expenses. Let's say you're moving to Seattle and you got to figure out either how to get your stuff there, or you're going to buy new furniture when you get there. That's where that type of expense would go here. And 139 is your cable, internet, cell phone. Pretty self-explanatory. Electric and gas, that's going to be already covered in the housing, so you don't have to worry about that here. This line number 140, the $200 and the $500, those are locked in. That is mostly for disability, long-term disability, as well as umbrella insurance or liability insurance. I locked those in there because it's really something that, as medical professionals, once we start practicing, we really need to. It's going to become part of your responsibility. And umbrella insurance, just really briefly, that is, you have car insurance, you get in an accident, and the person is severely injured. Your car insurance will only cover up to a certain amount. Umbrella insurance kicks in after that. Same thing for malpractice insurance. Your malpractice insurance will have a limit on what they will cover, and the umbrella insurance picks up after that. So it's if you didn't have umbrella insurance, once your malpractice capped out, then you're responsible personally for the difference. Okay, so that's something that's pretty reasonable as far as like monthly premiums go. Also, life insurance. If you're planning on having kids, family, already have family, life insurance is something that you definitely want to at least explore and make sure you're aware of now that you're going to be getting a paycheck and stuff. A lot of employers will provide life insurance, but it's usually one-time salary, and sometimes it's even capped at like $50,000. So yes, you have life insurance, but it's not it's not going to replace a significant amount of income, and it's definitely not a long-term fix. If you have any other expenses for line 141, you can put them in here. If you got a hobby or something that monthly you want to set aside money for that, you can use that line item for that. And then the last one is 142, which is vacations. Most residencies you're going to have 3 weeks of vacation, so you want to make sure that you, on a monthly basis, have money put aside so that you can actually enjoy those vacations. So having a vacation and then not being able to go anywhere or do anything during those 3 weeks, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So you're more than likely going to do something anyway, and that's going to mess up your budget. So that's why you put something in there now. And then for column C, it's the same exact thing. You just want to estimate, or at least think about what you might want to spend after completing your residency. So now that once you finish those line items, then you're good to go, and we can take a look at the reports.